Hello everybody. Well, it is that time of year again. Well, that time of year which we do have every 2 years here in the United Kingdom. And there will be an extravaganza on BBC One in March to commemorate it. Basically, it's time for wearing a red nose. And you may notice that around the shops, around Sainsbury's in particular, you will find these at the end of a counter or wherever it is stocked up as soon as you get in to the supermarket itself. Well, I always tend to get one of these, a red nose, every single year. Only twice have I not got myself a red nose in the last 18 or so years. First ever red nose I ever got was back in 1999. Was very, very small at the time, and it was a sparkly one, and it used to squeeze it and it used to hoot. It was a hooter nose, a really cool nose at the time, but very brutal, very brutal. It crippled your nose, very uncomfortable. I had to wear it up here. And for the few years following that, they made the noses the same. That was followed in 2001 by the whoopee nose. I actually didn't get that nose back then, but I did try one on at a cousin's house. They had a red nose, and I went over to their house a few months later. I think it might have been in the summer, and I tried it on, and I had to take it off because it was hard to breathe with it on, and I felt it was crippling my nose. I felt that my nose was about to break. That nose, that was the year of pants to poverty, where the theme was you used to have to wear, probably, for example, wear underpants over the top of your trousers, just like a superhero, like Superman or anything like that. Remember the promo? And the nose that day had it had a nose itself. The red nose had an actual red nose. So you squeeze it, it would go up like one of those things you blow at a party. You go like that, and used to make a sort of a weird noise at the time. So very similar to the 1999 one. The 1999 one was just a plain red nose, very sparkly, and it would squeak. There were noses a few before that, but I never actually got those noses. The first memory of Rednoseday was actually 20 years ago. I was in primary school at the time, and we had a fundraising day, and we actually didn't buy red nose. I actually had some face paint and painted my nose red. My brother did the same as well. So it was 1999 when I got my first red nose. I was aware of it actually in my house. I don't know if we still got it now. We had this wallet, which was a Rednoseday wallet, and it was inside of the wallet there was this tomato with a face. That was actually the red nose, the theme of the red nose in 1993. And I found out about this through going on, might have been TV Arc or the Meldrum, looking at classic CBBC Identity. And I remember looked upon something. This was when Children's BBC had the dark blue look with the colourful letters towards the end of the broom cupboard at that time. And just dropped my nose. That's how fascinating the history of Children's BBC is, because you end up dropping your nose. It's so much excitement. And I saw that one of the idents, they did a special comic relief ident, which was the same ident but with splattered tomatoes everywhere. I remember that because I watched the 1999 CBBC does comic relief. This was after it became CBBC. And they had a vote for one of the Blue Peter presenters to be gunged at the time. And they were going to go to the NEC in Birmingham for a record gunging. It was between Katie Hill, Connie Hook. It was Simon Thomas, who's now on Sky Sports doing the Football League stuff, or the he did some football. He was on Sky Sports, I think he was covering the Arsenal-Chelsea game the other day, and a guy called Stuart, who did a few holiday programmes after he left in 1999, actually, and he's on Heart. He's been doing some stuff for Hearts in Hertfordshire. So Connie got gunged, and I used to like that because after that, in 2001, they used the gunge tank in Live and Kicking, and it was between who of Hearsay was going to get gunged, and Mylene Klaas was the one who got gunged, and she got gunged in yellow, which was a fair bit weird with being Rednoseday at the time. She said it tasted like banana custard, but to be honest, gunge is just a bit of corn flour and stuff. And I hosted the gunging event in 2011 for Comic Relief, and the gunge was pink. It was trying to be red, but it was a bit pink. But it was close enough, in a way. So that's just a ramble, going off in a bit of a tangent about TV experiences from watching Comic Relief on the BBC. 2001 was also the year of Celebrity Big Brother. The only time you'd see Big Brother not on Channel 4 before 2011, because it was simulcasted on BBC One. BBC One and Channel 4. Probably with Lena McCall being very active with Comic Relief at the time, and still is. She did that amazing thing for Sports Relief, which is been going on since 15 years now, and it is in the interim year between the two Red Noses, and we have a Sport Relief. It used to be in the summer, because I remember in 2002, it was shortly after the 2002 World Cup. Then we had one just before the Olympics in 2004, which was interim between that and Euro 2004. And then in 2006, the beautiful summer days and the Sport Relief Mile, one across Nottingham, one across Leeds, one across Manchester, one across London. Wonderful atmosphere on that day. I remember watching it live on the red button. But I do have some Sport Relief attire. I do have a Sport Relief pen from that year. But I don't really put so much effort into that and focus so much into that as much as Comic Relief. And Comic Relief is basically the front runner and the original to the whole Relief thing. So, on to the important part. I bought myself a nose. Nothing new. I always buy a nose on Rednoseday, giving money to charity. And I think I'd like to open it up. Well, going back to some history, you knew what nose you were going to get. We had not many nose variations, so that did help you to find out that you were going to get a tomato nose. You were going to get that funny nose with hands like that, which was that was still before my time. You knew that you were going to get that nose, which actually looked more like orange. It could 1995 could have been Orange Nose Day for all I'm concerned, but I don't think I can actually remember that as much. 1997 had that furry nose, but it was probably made out of brutal, horrible plastic, which they got rid of. So, my favourite noses were around the mid-noughties, 14 years ago. In 2003, we had started with, following on from Pants to Poverty, we followed on and had Funky Hair Day. And I got a red nose, and they all looked the same in 2003, as they did in 2005, and even way back into 1999. We got a sachet of Wella hair gel with that nose, and we could spike the hair up, give it a mohican, give it the 3 spikes and stuff, and give it even the slick back, whatever you want to do with it. Make it even identical to your own face. Gel your hair in the same style as how you gel your red nose. And then 2 years later, I got another red nose, which was multicoloured hair, and I had my hair gelled up with and painted red just down the middle there, like a So it was basically theme was hair, and then it was still made of that brutal plastic. I barely wear a red nose. I was either having it on my finger or was just having it up here, and it was going to fall off, but I wanted to breathe and I didn't want to hurt my nose. I wanted my own health to be considered. So 2007, the best thing about that nose was not actually the nose. It went right back to the past, and it was very similar to the 1997 nose. But the problem is, it was very foamy. And I remember the day I was doing the event for Comic Relief, working on the event for Comic Relief. We had all Comic Relief food, cakes and stuff. And we gave away these noses, which were in the box at the time. You still got them in the box. I would sort of take it out of it. It was also the actual foam bit was in a wrapper. You'd take you'd open up the wrapper and it would expand, and then you'd put the nose on there. But the problem is, it was destructible, completely destructible. I was walking around the school throughout the days, me giving out everyone these red noses, everyone in my year these red noses, and suddenly it were all over the floor, torn apart. I'm just thinking, yeah, not the best idea. 2009 came and we got new red noses, and I think they went to similar to this. I do actually remember. I can't remember actually what that was. It was, however, I do remember that in 2011, you had these red noses with stickers, and it was made out of this material. I could actually wear my red nose, and it was the perfect fit, good material, and very squidgy and bouncy. They're very much like stress balls these days. 2013, I didn't actually buy a red nose because I was not in the UK at the time, and I didn't even know it existed. Rednoseday, I was that sort of lost from British television at the time. But last time I bought a red nose was 2 years ago. It was 2015, and they were in these packs. There you go. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And I'll tell you the story of what happened 2 years ago. It was probably like 2 years ago from this week, or this day maybe. The day I'm recording here. And I went to the end of the counter to Sainsbury's. I was having a look in there, wasn't looking at getting anything. But as you say, things happen when you don't expect it, and I was not expecting to get a red nose that day. So, and then I sort of looked at it and think, wait a minute, Rednoseday, it's soon. I might as well get my red nose. And then I got my red nose. I picked it up, it was in this bag, but I didn't know which one was which was contrast to 2011, which was the last time I bought the red nose. And I knew it was either going to be the pirate or the vampire. I can't remember exactly what they were. Maybe I need to do another video and go through the history of Comic Relief as a response to my own video here, to be honest. But we're in these bags, and the person who was wearing his, who was working on his shift, customer service, asked him, was like, how do you know which one's this? And he said to me, it's a lucky dip this year. And I was thinking, that's amazing. So it sort of inspired me to do this year. To open a red nose, to see what red nose I'm going to get this year. And I was opening my red nose thinking, what is it going to be? What nose is going to be in this bag? Which character? I can't even remember the names of last year's, but 2 years ago's characters. But it made me think, maybe I should open up a red nose with anticipation. Now, these remind me of those Lego minifigures you can get from shops, random shops, where you could you get one of these bags, but you don't know whether you're going to get a pirate, a sailor, a spaceman. You just do not know what figure you're going to get. And we're doing the same with Rednoseday. And I think this is good with kids. Anticipate the excitement because they get so excited. And they think they'll get more excited than this. When I was a kid, getting my hooter or getting my one with the Weller hair gel or the funky hair purse, red nose. Or those before my time, getting the lighty up red nose or the funny hands or the... I don't know what the people in kids in 1988 were like when they sort of thought, oh yeah, this red nose. Because they were probably more like clown noses in a way. So I'm just going to go over some of the characters here with the red nose. So you could either get this year Norse nose, the Viking, and you've got this knows it all, an owl looking person. You've got the Snorcerer, one for your Harry Potter fans. Now you've got another one, Doctor Nose. Well, it's supposed to be a doctor. It's probably a very doctor under so much pressure after this winter and the goings on in the health service at the moment. But for me, it looks like Stan Marsh wearing a nappy. Seriously, it does. Look at those eyes. I'm just getting used to the camera skills here and trying to puzzle that. That's the thing, this sort of South Park look is quite commonplace across things. As you may note, as I've noticed, or may you notice, if you're interested in mock idents, I have been watching so many mock reviews, or mock grillings as I like to call them, from someone, he's based up in the northeast of England, he's called G. O'Neill, and he has a go at so many people who do mocks through paint, and they create newsrooms, and the newsreaders look like characters from South Park. And also, this was used by a career service, which was used by school back in the day. This is back when New Labour were in power, when Blair was Prime Minister. They had something called Connections. They don't have that anymore. They have something completely different, probably more confusing, I'd say. But they used South Park characters. I got a careers book, a Connections book, / careers book, and they had South Park looking characters with that. They went for the big googly eyes. And now Comic Relief, whoever's responsible for this, have just got a red nose which looks like Stan Marsh. And talking about Stan Marsh, we've got Elton John there, DJ Boogie Bogey, I think it is, showing another one there. I'll get to that later. The Mummies alive for Rednoseday, Snoot and Carmoon, and you've got a dragon, and you've got the Great British Bake Off coming back to BBC, Sneeze Cake, and you've got Give a Pet a Home moving to the BBC, Sniffer, and if you want, you can take part in Rednoseday, Franken-Nose, Rednoseday, or Monochrome Nose Day, the Ultra Rare Nose. I might not get that, but imagine if I'm opening a red nose with all this anticipation, I could end up getting a monochrome nose. So, rambling and stories and all that, I'm going to open my red nose. So just what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear through that. Actually, I think I might need scissors. Yes, I do need scissors. So, or actually, no. You can open it this way. So I've just gone and got my scissors. I'm just going to snip through here. There you go. So, got this thing in the bag. Don't know what it is. Anticipation. It's a dragon nose. I have got Snuffles. I think it's a dragon or goblin, whatever it is, and very, very soft. It's like those stress balls. It is like a stress ball, basically. That's what I like about it. If it's Rednoseday at work and it's getting really hard for you and they're letting you wear your red nose, pick it up, do that, and the stress goes. Also, you can play ball with it. You can bit of overarm, underarm, play catch. Very good. Quite light as well, so it's very good to play a bit of ball in the house if you want to. And there it is. Just red noses and stuff. So, where can you get these from? Sainsbury's. You can get so many different red nose attire as well. You can get a red nose pin badge. I know see quite a few people wearing those as well, just like the green badges of NSPCC or the Children in Need badges, in which I've seen. Loads of charities do have their own badges. Others include like British Heart Foundation and the Stand Up to Cancer, the Men United thing, against prostate cancer. Loads of. You can get wristbands, which have been exploding when it comes to charity, especially the time of 10, 12 years ago when you had your Live Strong, Lance Armstrong's wristbands. They've sneaked their way into comic relief now. Pretty much a given for every charity. Every charity shop you can get a wristband and wear as many as a fashion, for fashion, supporting the charity. And also there's so many other things you can get. T-shirts. In the past you've been able to get T-shirts, and also you can get pens from Ryman or anywhere which is supporting the cause. So there you go. I've got a dragon nose. One thing I have noticed, these are £1, but actually it says here that 60p goes to comic relief. It's not because you got it from Oxfam and 40 goes to Oxfam, because it's the same if you go to Sainsbury's as well. But all these characters, there must be a bit of storage there, because if you look, there is Join the Comic Adventure on the Red Nose website. And could have a look at that if I wanted to. So there you go. There is one of this year's Red Noses. Over and out. Take care and peace.